Hello everyone. So welcome again to my another video on AZ204 exam. In this video also I will explain one question and its answer as well. So we'll go step by step on a question and analyze it and see which is the right answer, and we'll also go through interview questions on this topic. Okay, so let's begin. Now the question says, an online billing service named Harbor Cloud runs a browser callable REST API, and the engineers must prevent web pages served from other domains from invoking those endpoints in a browser. So, which security feature controls whether the web pages from a different origin can call the API? So, number A is Azure Active Directory. Number B is cross-site scripting. Number C is cross-origin resource sharing, that is CORS. And number D, that is OAuth 2.0. So what is the right answer? So right answer should be CORS. So why CORS? Why CORS is the correct answer? Let's see. Actually, CORS is a browser security feature that controls a web page from one origin can make requests to a different origin. So in our scenario, Harbor Cloud exposes the REST API, and we want to prevent other domains web pages from calling it via browser. This is exactly what CORS policy manage. It allows or block the request based on the origin, that is the domain. Okay, and configure allowed methods, headers, and credentials, etc. So what is a simple way to remember CORS? See, its full form is cross-origin resource sharing. We can also say, can other domain request services? So this is a simple way to remember CORS. Okay. Okay, so let's break down step by step using the exact scenario. Okay. So the scenario says Harbor Cloud has a different callable REST API. So the requirement is to prevent web pages from other domains from calling it, right? So the other domain web page won't call it. So what kind of access we are controlling? Web pages served from other domain. This tells us calls are coming from browser-based JavaScript, not backend services, not Postman. So this is browser security problem. All right. So what problem happens in browser? Browsers enforce something called same origin policy, that is SOP. So a web page can only call APIs from the same domain. Okay, so now how do we allow or block other domains? This is where the CORS comes in. CORS allows the servers to say allow mynap.app and block evil.com. So in the header we can allow the domain. Okay, so in this way we can allow the domain we want and block the other domains. Fine. So why CORS is the correct answer? Based on our requirement, control browser-based calls. Yes, it is controlling. Restrict other domains. Yes, it is restricting. Works via HTTP headers. Yes, it is working via HTTP headers that we saw in our previous slide. So why not the other options are correct? So Azure Active Directory, it's actually handles authentication and the identity. Okay, so it nothing to do with the cross-origin browser request. Okay. Cross-site scripting. So it is actually a security vulnerability, not a control mechanism. But it is not kind of used to restrict API access between domains. OAuth is against its access tokens, that is authorization. So it also doesn't prevent browser-based cross-origin calls. Fine. So what is the common confusion? Okay. So interviewer can trap us in CORS versus authentication. Okay. When the scenario says block unknown users, then authentication. However, when scenario says block other websites, then it will be CORS. Now the trap to CORS protect APIs. Reality is attacker can bypass CORS using curl, Postman, or backend scripts. Okay. So the correct answer is CORS is not a security boundary for APIs. Okay, it is actually on a web page. Okay. So auth versus authentication. So OAuth alone does not tell the user who the user is actually. With OpenID Connect, it gives us identity plus token. So safe interview answer will be OAuth handles authorization. Authentication is done via OIDC on top of OAuth. All right. So let us move some real interview questions plus strong and concise answers. Okay. So if someone asks, suppose an interview asks, what is CORS and why is it needed? So we simply say this answer, that CORS is browser security mechanism that controls whether web application running on one origin can make requests to a different origin. So it is needed because browsers enforce SOP, that is same origin policy by default to prevent malicious websites from accessing sensitive data. That's why you need CORS for cross-origin resource sharing. All right. Okay. Now question 2. Does CORS secure API? No, it doesn't secure API. It only restricts browser-based requests. Okay, I already told you earlier. APIs must still implement authentication and authorization because tools like Postman and curl can bypass CORS. As it is browser-based, it only restricts browser-based requests. Okay, so we can bypass it through Postman or by curl request. Okay. So what is a pre-flight request? Okay. So a pre-flight request is an HTTP options request sent by browser before the actual request to check if the server allows the cross-origin request. It verifies the allowed methods, headers, and origin. Okay. The next question: what is the difference between authentication and authorization? I suppose you people know this. Okay. Authentication verifies the identity of user, who you are, and authorization what you can do. It means what you are authorized to do, and which action you can perform, which page you can go to, and which page you can visit. These are done by authorization actually. This is a pretty much simple question. Okay. Can you have authorization without authentication? Actually, in most system, it is not allowed. Without authentication, we can't go for authorization. However, some system allows anonymous roles with limited permissions, where we have authorization with limited permission, where the user is anonymous. Okay. So what problem does OAuth solve? So OAuth 2.0 solves the problems of delegate authorization by allowing application to access resources on behalf of a user without sharing credentials or using access tokens. All right. So if the interviewer asked, explain CORS, OAuth, and authentication together. So what will be a strong answer? CORS is a browser level mechanism that controls cross-origin API access, and authentication verifies the user identity, and OAuth 2.0 handles the authorization by using access tokens with specific permission. Together, they ensure only trusted client can call the API, and only authenticated and authorized user can access the resources. All right. So this can be one interview question when an interviewer will ask. Okay, they ask it together. Okay. As I told that CORS is a browser level mechanism. Okay, that controls cross origin API access. Okay. So I hope you understand all things and like my video. And if you like this topic, please subscribe my channel and share with your friends and like the video as well. So thank you for watching this video. Thank you very much. Okay, bye bye.